Now in the last episode with the Gestalt X10, I installed a front suspension made by a company I had never heard of, GTMRK. But it isn't something that I plan on keeping on my bike long term. So today I'm going to be removing this, but I am going to be adding my biggest upgrade yet, and that is a set of budget carbon wheels made by ICan. So the wheels that I picked out are carbon, and they are the ICan G24. These are gravel specific wheels, and ICan is claiming that these will come in right at 1,395 grams, and we're about ready to find out. So if the 1,395 grams is going to be accurate, that's about 3.08 pounds. And that's what my scale measures in, so that's how I'm gonna weigh it today. Let's go ahead and let's start with the back wheel. And it looks like it came in at 1.63 pounds. That's incredibly light for a rear wheel. So this front wheel is gonna have to come in at a light 1.45 to meet that 1,395 grams that they're claiming that these weigh. Let's go ahead and let's weigh it. 1.37. That's incredibly light. That's actually under what they're claiming that these wheels weigh. So where I think that 1,395 grams is coming in is whenever you add the rim tape and the valves. Let's go over some of the details of these rims and also check them out to see if they're actually a quality built rim. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the G24 wheels from ICan. I really appreciate the fact that they didn't put a whole bunch of bright logos on here. The only thing you're gonna find on here is a simple, subtle gloss logo with their name, ICan, and the G24 on the opposite side of the wheel. I really think that the gloss logo on these matte carbon wheels looks fantastic. And if you're wondering what the G24 stands for, that's just simply the internal width of the rim. And that 24 millimeter width is gonna allow you to run some pretty wide tires. Now the total width of the rim is 29 millimeters and the rim depth is gonna be 40 millimeters. And that 40 millimeter rim depth gives it that deeper dish look that you always see on high-end bikes. Now these rims are a little bit different than any rim that I've used in the past. These are hookless. That's right, if you look at the rim profile, there's no hook for the tire bead to hook onto. Now, being that this is hookless, you have to use tubeless ready tires, and that's because the bead that comes on tubeless ready tires is a little bit stronger than non-tubeless ready tires. So if you pick these up, make sure that your tires that you have are tubeless ready, or make sure you grab yourself a set that are. Now, according to ICan, a hookless rim actually makes a stronger rim and it provides a smoother ride overall. I can't wait to try these things out. Now to attach the carbon rims to the hubs, they use CX-ray spokes, and these are aerodynamic bladed spokes. And speaking of hubs, mine came with the D21 hubs that have sealed bearings, 6 paws, and 72 points of engagement. I used to not be a big fan of noisy hubs, but when I'm out on the road and I'm gravel riding, I definitely prefer a little bit louder hub than whenever I'm mountain biking. Now these are 700C wheels, so these will work perfect with the tires that I currently have, and they also have center lock hubs. Now just looking over these wheels, these are my first set of carbon wheels, but looking at them, they look really pristine. There's absolutely no marks, no nicks. Everything looks perfectly smooth, and then whenever I look inside the rim, you can see a few seams where the carbon has come together, but those seams are absolutely smooth to the touch. Then also checking the trueness of these wheels, both the front and the back aren't even off by a half a millimeter. These things are absolutely dialed in. So for $750, these might be the best carbon gravel wheels you can find on the internet. Let's go ahead and finish this setup so we can get out and ride. So whenever you purchase a set of ICan wheels, they do come with some rim tape and some valves. I was not aware that it came with the valves. I didn't read that anywhere in the description, so it's nice to know that they do come with that. That'll save you about $18 overall. And then the rim tape is probably another $20 to $25 that it's gonna save you. So I like that that's actually included. And I imagine to save some costs so they can keep the price down on the rims is why they don't ship this stuff pre-installed. So just know that whenever you go to purchase a set of ICan wheels, you're gonna have to apply the rim tape and put the valves in. And if you've had any experience with that, you know that that's not that big of a deal. Now, since the rotors that come on the Gestalt X10 are not center lock, they're 6-bolt, I went ahead and picked up some 6-bolt to center lock adapters. I plan on upgrading the disc rotors later, but this is a much cheaper route to go, and I think this should work just fine. Now that we've got the wheels off the Marin, let's go ahead and weigh them with everything that's on here. Then we can weigh the ICan wheels with everything on them at the end and see exactly how much weight we really truly dropped. Let's start with the front wheel. And it looks like we've got 4.56 on the scale. And now let's weigh the back wheel. So now we know what the weight is of the stock wheel setup. Let's go ahead, get all these components off of here and get them installed on the new wheels. All right, so I've got a little over 30 pounds of pressure in here. I can feel that there is a little bit of air coming out of the tires since these tires have never had sealant in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and, since it's seated up, I'm gonna go ahead and let the air out, and we're gonna go and put some sealant in here. I haven't ever done this before on gravel tires, so it's really interesting. I'm gonna start with 4 ounces. That may be too much, it may be too little, but 4 ounces is about what I use on my mountain bike tires to start out with, and that seems to be a good amount. I figure if it's too much, well, it'll seal up and may make the wheels weigh a little bit more, but that's not that big of a deal considering I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be saving a couple of pounds with this setup. All right, I'm too excited. I want to go ahead and weigh the front wheel before we start on the back wheel. I believe the front wheel on the old setup was 4.5 pounds-ish. So let's go ahead and see what this one weighs. 3.44 pounds. That is a whole pound plus dropped from this wheel set. Done. Now that we got the back wheel done, let's go ahead and weigh it. Now remember, the stock wheel was 6.35 pounds. Let's see what this one weighs now. So 5.11 pounds, that's 1.5 pounds dropped off of the back wheel. So a total of over 2.5 pounds was dropped by going with this wheel set. I can't wait to get out and try these, but first I'm gonna take off the suspension fork and put on the original fork. Let me go ahead and get that done, and then we'll take these out for a ride. Now, taking them out on my very first ride, you can instantly notice whenever you go from a heavy set of wheels to a much lighter set of wheels, just your rolling resistance goes down drastically. But the biggest change that I noticed overall was going tubeless. I think that even if I would have had an aluminum set of rims, I would have felt a major change. Tubeless is such a game changer whenever you hit some of those rough gravel roads and those backcountry trails. I would definitely recommend that if you have a gravel bike to go tubeless. It really does make the ride that much smoother. Now at this point, I've put a little over 100 miles on these G24 wheels, and they are perfectly true. The spokes still seem to be tensioned properly, and I also haven't had any issues with going tubeless. I'm just hoping that this pattern continues, because if it does, $750 for a high quality set of carbon gravel wheels is a heck of a deal. And if you guys are interested in picking up a set of G24 ICan wheels for your gravel bike, I'll put some links below. But let me know in the comments below, have any of you used ICan wheels before? And if you have, what kind of experience did you have? Was it a good one or was it a bad one? And if you guys enjoyed this content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to, become a member. But as always, we'll see you guys in the next one.